Hello friends, I'm reviewing all of Paul McCartney's studio albums, and today I'm looking at New, which came out in 2013. This was Paul McCartney's 16th solo studio album, followed on from Kisses on the Bottom in 2012 and preceded 2018's Egypt Station, which I've already reviewed. The album reached number 3 in the UK and number 5 in the US. Paul has said it was inspired by recent events in his life and by his pre-Beatles history. And the album uses 4 different producers and has an experimental feel about it. Let's have a quick look at the booklet. Well, there's the front cover, and when we look inside, we see this message from Paul. But I don't know whose idea this was, but it's rather difficult to read. Now, in the booklet, we've got some good pictures. Again, the lyrics very difficult to follow, unfortunately, so I had to look those up separately online. But some very nice rehearsal photographs, all in delicious black and white. So it's a pretty good booklet. Now, if you're new to my marking system, just a reminder, it goes from 1 to 10, but most of my marks are going to be between 4 and 7. So 4 is about an average track for me, 5 is fairly good, 6 is good, and 7 is very good. So most of my marks will be between 4 and 7. The odd one, very special, will go above that, and particularly one that I don't like will go below that. Anyway, let's have a look now at the tracks in order. The opening track, Save Us, was written with producer Paul Epworth, and this was the 3rd single from the album. And it's all about how can we save this relationship. Now, this is a song that emerged from kind of a jamming session. So it emerged melody first and the words fitted afterwards, although you wouldn't really tell from it. It's all about keep on sending your love. We've got some nice harmonies going on there. We've got a positive message overall for this song. It's got a driving rhythm, neat harmonies with the backing singers, a good hook, and it's a strong opener to the album. So you've got something that will save us now. That's his message, and you can apply that however you want to your life. Now, as well as it being a good song, there's a lovely fan video of this, and Paul got fans to send in little bits of the song illustrated in a way. They put this together, and it's a really nice way of presenting the song. Great idea, that. Anyway, I think this is a very good start to the album indeed. Going to award this one 7 marks. Track number 2 is called Alligator, and this is kind of about needing a place to come home when you might have had a difficult day or whatever. You need a place where you're welcome, where you can just relax. And even if you've had a bad mood, which could be the alligator, this could be the thing that's been attacking you in some way. We need someone to set us free. Could you be that person for me? That's the question Paul is asking here. So it starts with a bit of hissing like an old record, which is quite a nice touch at the beginning and the end. There's a little electronic melody. There's a bit of acoustic guitar and electric guitar. So I think it works well as a unit, this. It's a pleasant song, perhaps not quite as good as the first one, but it's a nice one to listen to. So I'm going to make this as fairly good and give it 5. Track number 3 is On My Way to Work, and Paul has said this is about his pre-fame past when he was working as a driver's mate for a delivery firm in Liverpool. In the lyric, he puts himself on a big green bus, picking up cigarettes, thinking of someone, having dreams, hoping that everything will come true and that maybe the future is laid out in front of him. He buys a magazine, there's a girl there from Chichester in it. It's very specific memories, this, and it gives an authenticity to this track. And he poses the question, how could I have had so many dreams? Well, wasn't it wonderful to dream and for some of them to come true? It's a simple melody, but it's a nice piece of nostalgia, very well done. So again, a fairly good track for me. I'm going to award it 5. Track number 4, Queenie Eye, was the 2nd single from the album. Queenie Eye was a children's game that Paul used to play in Liverpool. It's to do with having a ball, hiding it, somebody having to guess. So the refrain words are directly from that song. And again, it's a neat bit of nostalgia, this. It starts with some sort of old cinema sounds almost. The vocal's quite a way back in the mix, but it seems to all come together quite well. The refrain is catchy. There's a quiet part in the middle, and then it's nicely layered, especially at the end, with different bits working with other parts. Now, there's a very nice video to this, which is full of celebrities recorded at Abbey Road, and there's also a making of video to watch as well. So everybody wanted to be in there with Paul in this song. So it's a nice, catchy song. I'm going to rate it as a good one and give it 6 marks. Track number 5 is called Early Days, and this is another single from the album. Now, this is a beautifully nostalgic look at the roots of the friendship of Paul and John Lennon. I find this song genuinely moving. He talks about so many beautiful moments, and he also talks about the fact that he's the one who knows exactly what happened. He knows the truth of who did what on each song, and he's saying they can't take that away from me. You know, I've lived this myself. I can remember the details. There's a vulnerability in Paul's voice on this, which is very charming, actually. Although it's a gentle melody, it's really classy. It's simple and it's powerful. And I enjoy this song very much indeed. There's an incredibly moving video of pictures of Paul and John together, which goes with this on YouTube. And you do get the sense that, you know, here are two people, two friends, childhood friends, who, you know, changed the world. You know, they changed 20th century culture forever. I don't think we can overemphasize that. And you know, this is Paul now in his later years looking back on that time and what happened. So I think this is a really classy track. This, I'm going to give it better than very good. I'm going to give it an excellent, and mark that as an 8. Now, the title track, New, was also a single. Bit of a sort of a Penny Lane-ish feel to the start of this. It's a nice love song that Paul said, but he's kind of saying that he didn't have any of the answers. You know, so this relationship, you know, it's not easy to solve these relationships. But the message is, you came along and saved me when we were new. We could do what we want. So that exciting time at the start of a new relationship. Kind of a honeymoon period in a way. There's a little bit of a sort of a Beach Boys feel to this one, I felt, on the harmonies, on the refrain. And there is another video on YouTube of this one, kind of almost like a rehearsal of this song. It's just one of the band playing the guitar and the rest of them all sort of just singing, almost like a barbershop quartet or something. But again, it's a very pleasant version of this song, stripped down. I'm going to rate it as a good track, this one, and very good track, in fact, give it 7. Track number 7, Appreciate, was another single from the album, and it's kind of about making the best of the day. Paul called it a weird little track, and it is experimental. It has kind of a futuristic feel. There's a video been made of this one with Newman the robot in it, so that's all futuristic as well, of course. There's a delicious groove and bass on this, and if you listen to the way it comes across on your stereo, you will be impressed. It's almost like a sort of Pet Shop Boys soundscape, I felt. Paul's voice is quite a way back in the mix and has been manipulated a bit with autotune, almost unrecognisable on occasions. And there's some exciting synthesizers in this. It's a fascinating arrangement. It won't be to all tastes, but I've got to say I do like it. I do enjoy this one. So see what you think. I'm going to rate it as a fairly good track and give it 5. Track number 8 is Everybody Out There. Paul's talked about this as kind of an address to the crowd, his question to people who are watching him, and is also a message to kind of do some good before you say goodbye. Well, I'm sure we'd all agree with that. But the cry almost goes out to space and to the universe. And you get this sort of space feel to the whole song, almost like an ELO song off their Time album. The band sounds good in this. And the feeling throughout the song is that we're gradually getting more and more desperate, like we're the only ones left and it's down to us. We're the brightest objects in the sky. We've got to get on and make the world a better place. There's a great finish to this. Paul's voice sort of fading almost into deep space. I can't hear you. Very atmospheric, and I like this track a lot. I'm going to rate it as a very good track and give it 7 marks out of 10. Track 9 is called Hosanna. Now this is just Paul and his guitar and some tape loops. Hosanna meaning sort of praise. There seems to be some backward notes at the start. I'm not quite sure what that is. The message here is, I'm going to take you back. I'm going to hold you again. You can stay if you wish. It's kind of about a moment of glory when we sing Hosanna to the morning sun. It's a gentle song, but it's involving. And we're kind of left wanting more of it. Paul called this a tender acoustic ballad. I would certainly agree with that. And his producer, Ethan Johns, called it absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah, it's a lovely song, this one. Definitely worth a listen. I'm going to rate it as good and give it 6. Track number 10 is I Can Bet, which is a decent upbeat pop song with some fairly suggestive lyrics. What I'm going to do next I will leave to your imagination. So we could slightly compare it with FUHU from the Egypt Station album as well. Paul plays most of the instruments on this one. You could say it's a little bit light on the lyrics. It does perhaps not go as deep as some of the other songs, but it has some good momentum in it, some exciting pace. And it's still a pleasant listen, so I'm going to rate it as fairly good. And give that one 5. Track number 11 is called Looking at Her, and this is about a woman, I think, who enjoys people looking at her and having power over other people. She drives me crazy. This is women with great appeal. There's sort of a haunting quality to it. He sings that she's got everybody talking about her, and maybe she never realised, maybe she did. It's kind of got an experimental refrain, this one, which some may find a little bit too much, and it's got a big ending on the words losing my mind. Paul's voice is closely mic'd on this. Still a decent tune. The drumming is quite enticing as well. I enjoy the drumming on this one. I'm going to rate it as fairly good and give it 5. Now, track number 12 is called Road. This is about two people searching for the light. We came from nowhere. And where are they going is the question. This is a driving, pounding, exciting track. The rhythm is exciting. The atmosphere is exciting. Reminds me a little bit of that Who song, I Can See for Miles and Miles. It's that sort of expansive view about driving forward. I think this is a really exciting track and a great way to finish the album. So I'm going to rate this as a very good song and give it 7. Now, just when you thought the album was over, there's a sneaky secret track, number 13, called Scared. Now, we are so glad we've got this one, and it's definitely worth holding on to listen to it. This is a very simple piano ballad. It's a love song about being too scared to say how much you love somebody. Now, come on, everybody out there, if you do, go and tell them straight away. Don't hold back. It almost reminds me of Let It Be, this song. It's lovely and it's moving, and it's a great emotional end to the album. I find it honest, simple, and effective. It reminds me slightly, if you're an Elton John fan, of the song Goodbye, which is at the end of the Madman Across the Water album. You might want to compare this. I'm not saying they're copies or anything, but just have a similar sort of mood to them, and just end the album in a very poignant way. So enjoy this one if you can. I reckon it's a very good track. I'm going to rate it 7 out of 10. So the first side of 6 songs got 38 marks. The second side, which has got 7 songs, gets 42 marks. That gives us a total of 80 marks for 13 tracks. That's an average of 6.15 marks per track. Now, if we look at my guide that I'm using here, 6.15 means this is a good album. So it's between the good and the very good. Not much has got up here yet, but lots of other albums to review, of course. But, you know, this is a quality album and a good consistency of tracks all the way through. So let's have a look at my Paul McCartney chart now with 4 of his albums reviewed so far. And Early Days takes a lead as number 1 at the moment. That's the only one with 8 marks so far. But look at this, 5 tracks from this album, all getting very good from me. So they're up at the top of the chart as well. And at the bottom of the chart here, you know, nothing below 5 on this album at all. So I didn't rate anything as average. Everything was fairly good and above. And this is how the albums stack up so far, the 4 I've done. New takes over as my top Paul McCartney album, 6.15, followed by Egypt Station, Please Please Me, and London Town. Not much in it at the moment, they're all either fairly good or good albums. So that's it from me for a while. What did you think of this album? What's your favourite track on it? Do you agree or disagree with my ratings? Please let me know. I'll do another video looking at the bonus track material and including any comments you've sent in. That's it for now. Subscribe if you want to. Thanks for watching. See you soon.